Sunday, 24th February 2019, musician Francis Molobeka was invited on Phoenix FM.
Okay, here's Mr. Francis Molobeka. Gospel According to Africa. This is a chorus that I'm sure many of you find familiar. Okay, so this is taken off the album Gospel According to Africa, and for all intents and purposes, it's like an old album. So we are kind of moving from there. We're graduating. What year was this one released?
That was 2013.
2013, so
Yeah.
2019,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, 6 years ago. If it was a child, 6 years.
Would be 6, and
In school even.
they'll have passed the terrible tools. They'll be in
Graduated
school.
from under 5. That's old enough. So let's move on to the new now, shall we? Now, you have a new album. It's called The Experience.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And, okay, let's have a taste of...
Sure.
This one is that one to put in a paper shine. Oh, by the way, this is Francis Molobeka. I haven't even introduced you. Forgive my bad manners. Francis Molobeka. And your name, if I may say so, your name, it has a lot of genetic material attached to it. The DNA.
Oh, yeah?
And that name, Molobeka.
Yeah, well,
It's heavy, man.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know, man. It's just a
I
name.
remember my dear friend Augustine Longo, the late, you know.
Oh, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
phrase that I admit I've borrowed many
Exactly.
times, although I found the judge for plagiarism. Go ahead. But you have, it is genetically inborn.
It's genetically inborn, yeah. Yeah, well,
By virtue of your last name. Is it your grandfather or your great-grandfather?
yeah, that was my grandfather.
Grandfather.
That was my pardon, Molobeka. I'm sure that's the one you're referring
He
to.
was something else.
He was a very good songwriter, a very big inspiration to the family, I must add. Yeah.
So did you tap from that?
I'm
Can you
assuming
claim
so.
some of the...
I think so. Well, I can probably never ever get to any close to what he was, but I think probably 1/8 of what I may have must have come
How much
from.
time did you spend with him?
I lived with him. I lived
You actually lived
with
with
him. Yes, because my parents died quite early in life, and so he brought me up literally.
Are you
Quite
serious?
literally, yeah. So he's basically my father. So
I heard some stories about how he would just sit and begin singing a song that he had never written or never thought about. It just flow out.
yo, man, that happened quite a lot, and sometimes you would think, okay, but Granny, you've never taught us that song? And it's like, no, because it's never been there.
It's just come.
It's just come now. And how? But you're singing it like you know it. Yeah, I know it now. So then he would just do a bit of notation and put those words down, and then you begin to sing. He was crazy, like. He was crazy.
Only
like
you
that.
can say that.
Yeah, no, but he was a brilliant songwriter. He was quite good. He's written quite a lot, some of which I think we're slowly losing because they were in thousands.
So I hear,
songs.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I hear there have been some efforts to put to put them in a book.
I wrote.
I know your cousin Kaiser.
Kaiser, yes. Kaiser has been doing volumes. He's on the second. It's in the second volume, and we are doing the third for him. I wrote about 200-300 of his songs that Kaiser has been recording.
And then serious?
Yeah.
Okay, are you doing what Kaiser is doing as well? Are you doing like songs of my grandfather?
Look, what we agreed. This is what we agreed. Like just we wanted him to start doing that, but on every album that I produce, at least I do a song of his.
Okay.
But that is totally Kaiser is the one who's doing volumes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the rest of us just help him to say, do you remember that one? No, I don't. Can you write it down? Yeah, okay, go into the studio, record it. And then there was also the late John Mwesa was trying to put a booklet down for those same songs, and there's quite a few other writers that we're speaking to. Elder Munagampe, I'm sure you know, Great Munagampe has also approached me so that we can write a few others. And there's another gentleman that now lives on the Copper Belt, who also wants to do Bilkis. So it's quite a lot that's going on. So maybe we might be able to retrieve almost everything.
Wow.
Probably not everything, but almost
Wow.
everything. Yeah.
So let's come to you now.
Yeah.
You are the one in the studio.
Yes. Yes.
The teacher
yes.
of the show
He
today.
always overshadows me.
I'm sorry. That wasn't the intention. It was meant to be just a preamble
Exactly.
to explain
exactly.
from whence you have come. So, okay, can't continue without making some kind of reference.
Yeah.
Do songs come to you the same way?
Oh, well, no, for me, they are more mine. Well, they come organically. How can I put this?
Okay, now you're sophisticated. Organically.
They come organically in the sense that for me, I will always have to. It's either one or two. One of the two things. I'll have thought about probably a melody. I mean, I think that is the era where you and I come from. You would like to think about maybe the melody and put together how something will come across before you even begin to put the words. Sometimes the word would come through in form of a poem,
Okay.
and then I'll be like, okay, even in the poem, I'll be very technical. I want to okay, which one is rhyming with what and so on. But he never did that. He never did stuff like that. He received the message and he did the song. So for me, I think it takes a bit of time compared to him. Sometimes it can take a couple of days, sometimes it can take a week, sometimes it can take a month.
Really?
Yeah, I can start writing one song, put it away, write this and finish, and then go back to the other.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, it just depends on the inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, music according to Africa, gospel according to Africa.
Yeah.
That was 2013.
Yeah, Gospel According to Our Prayers came out in 2013.
Has there been anything between then and now?
Singles that have
Singles.
culminated into this.
Okay.
Yeah, that have
So
culminated
it's
into
been
this.
6 years.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
oven.
yeah. Well, it wasn't initially planned to be an album. It's just that music that you put down.
Right.
You have something in your head and like, oh, okay, it sounds quite okay. So maybe let me try to record it, and you put it away.
Okay.
Or you write it and then put it away. And then until about 2 years ago, that's when I was like, okay, maybe we can. When experiences started to come in and chip in, and you're like, that song can fit here, that song can fit here, and then we titled it The Experience.
So, not to make the same mistake, well, maybe mistake is not the right word, but not to repeat. I'm a bit stuck here. Okay, to do things differently.
Exactly.
From we just talked about how your grandfather had that rich,
Yes.
yes. collection and library, the volumes of songs, that some of them will be lost
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Are you doing anything, because you're just saying you churn out the songs yourself, are you doing anything to make sure that yours remain on some kind of
never
record,
lost.
on paper or...
Yeah, no, I'm privileged to have just a bit of ability to write and put it down. So apart from the recordings, we also need to put them on paper in form of staff notation and tonic software, so that at least you can have it properly preserved.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm doing that for all my music, and even for my granddads.
Yeah.
And I know it's a lot of work, but I think it's the only way we can keep.
Okay.
We can get to keep.
Okay.
Yeah.
The song playing in the background has some lovely harmonies as you can hear. It's entitled Wachindike Vayawe.
And it was written by him, by the way.
It was written by him.
That's one song that was written by
Let's
him.
play the tribute.
Exactly.
The grandfather who wrote it and the grandson who sang it. Who was this? Who was that?
Piano, Sebastian Mtale.
Seba.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah. Believe it.
Okay,
It's quite good. A lot of people know him for guitar, but I love him on piano. It's quite good.
Impressive.
And I'm sure you can hear Chisha, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he could speak Lamba?
Yeah, from Rusangu, he was transferred to Musofu Mission, to open Musofu Mission District.
Oh, okay.
That's why he started speaking Lamba.
Okay.
He could speak Tonga, Lamba, Ndebele, Shona, of course Bemba, and English.
Okay. Now,
Paddy.
do you ever? I mean, when you're okay, I'm sorry. I know. I said we're moving away from your grandfather, but
We can't. No, we can't. We will not.
We
I
can't.
know.
But when you're doing his songs,
Yeah.
do you ever think like, okay, if he was alive and he heard this song, would he like the way
Yeah,
do
I
you
do.
have done it?
All the time, I do. Like, writing, composing has never really been my forte.
Okay.
I come from the arranging type. I'm the arranging type, and
Okay.
so when he was alive and we were younger, I used to arrange quite a lot of his songs because I couldn't write at the time. Yeah, like
So
you
he'd
know, in
give
the
it to you to
teens.
arrange this?
Can you arrange this song? Yes, I remember when.
How old are you then?
I think about 13, 14,
Wow.
12, 13, 14. I remember I traveled with him from Sanfia to Livingston to go and teach 20 choirs.
From where to where?
From Sanfia to Livingston.
You're not talking by air, no?
No. I'm talking by road.
Wow.
And the road then, not this road. So we put together, I think, about 60 songs for the choirs. And so he asked me to arrange, and every time I arranged some, he would tell me, "Oh, wow, okay, you're a good arranger. You'll be like your uncle John Mwesa at some point, but you need to work at it because it's really good.
Okay.
Your uncle is really good."
You'd acknowledge.
Yeah, I would acknowledge. So every time I'm trying to arrange any of his songs, I'll be like, okay, what would he say? And I sort of understood his flow of notation or movements. So I try to keep it that way.
Maintain.
Yeah, and so I know he'd have loved this.
You were there?
He would have loved this.
Oh, wow.
Have loved it.
Okay, so we're talking to Mr. Francis Molobeka, who is an accomplished arranger.
Well, if you say so.
Speak as if it were, and it shall be.
Exactly.
Yeah, accomplished arranger, my brother.
Yeah.
And we're talking about his new album, The Experience, which is a 2019 release.
This is 2019 release.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we'll be back and continue chatting with him in just a little while. You're on the Gospel Show. It's 8 hours. Now, we started, like we were doing an interview to feature your grandfather, but it's actually you who's here today. So let's get to you. I know we may not be able to avoid totally
We won't. I know we won't.
straying into the story of your grandfather, but as much as possible. Francis Molobeka.
Yes.
You are back home now.
I'm back home. I'm trying to be.
You're not back yet?
I am back, except I'm in and out. But I think technically I can say I am back.
Okay.
Yeah, I am back home, and this is the very first album I'm doing, a solo project I'm doing home.
Okay.
The other recordings, obviously, I did with other groups like your Christian Soldiers and blah blah.
I remember those days.
You remember those days? You do remember those days? Yeah.
Oh, I do. Yes, I do.
So I did one album in 2008 in Swaziland called "Take Me As I Am." Excuse me. Then I did this, the Gospel According to Africa in South Africa, in 2012, 2013, which I think went in 2014 and has been. And then this is the very, very first time I'm recording here in Zambia, solo project here in Zambia.
So tell us about Swaziland and South Africa. What is going on there?
Well, I went to live and work in Swaziland. First I went as a teacher of French. And English, yes.
Not even music, no?
No, not music. I was teaching French. Well, obviously.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, je peux parler français.
Oh.
Je suis professeur de français langue
Oh, oui.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah. So, people might think I'm Congolese, so because I'm from Lokula.
Same difference. It's an imaginary line.
Exactly. So I went to teach, and then of course music never ever eludes me. It never goes away.
Yeah.
So obviously I found myself teaching it as well.
Okay.
And I was in Swaziland for about 12 years.
You were there for a long time.
Yeah. So while I was in Swaziland,
were the pastures greener? To put you on the
they
spot.
seemed greener at the time. I think they seemed greener at the time. Now that I'm slightly older and I'm looking at things differently, I don't.
And you're home.
And I'm home. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went to school in South Africa. I was at Wits University for some time. Started studying linguistics, languages and applied linguistics as my BA. And then I went into honors. I did communication science.
Okay.
Then I started working for a local sugar company in the marketing department.
Okay.
So now I was in between Swaziland and South Africa.
Okay.
So I came
So
back.
you studied music formally?
No, I've never done music formally.
You don't intend to?
I intend
You don't
now.
need to? Maybe that's a
No,
question. You don't
I
need
don't
to?
need. I think I do need to. I intend to do that now. Actually, I think that it's something that I probably want to grow old doing now, because some of the most important, essentials, I think have been taken care of. So now I can sort of maybe concentrate and begin to do what I love to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I intend to enroll somewhere and see if I can get something.
I'm imagining you in the class, and this lecturer is like, this is awkward.
Today we're going to speak about orchestration and something. What? I know that.
I don't mean for it to sound blasphemous, but remember the story of Jesus and John the Baptist? You're coming to be baptized by me? You should be the one.
No, man. I don't think I'm that good. I think that I've got the basics, but I think I need.
Right. You don't have to be humble.
No, like seriously, when my brother that you referred to as my cousin Kaiser went into school to study music, that was me accomplishing what I really needed to do through him. I was like, you must do music. God, if you want me to pay for it, you've got to do music.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And then there's another cousin of ours who is in China now. He has a very big band in China, Johnson Lufungulo. I also told him, if you want anything from me, I need you to go into school and study music. I just wanted to accomplish that through other people because that's what I really needed to do. But at the time, I think I didn't have a support system to tell me to go into doing music.
But
and
you
so
provided the support system for others.
For other, yes, so that I could feel better.
Help me understand that.
No, what I mean, I really wanted to study music like from the get-go.
Right.
But then, I come from this family that really loves music, but they're so much into academics as well. And so they just don't, fine, you can be a teacher, but you can't really teach music. You can teach other things, or you can, I mean, get a career going on and stuff
Music
like
is
that.
not a career. Okay.
And so me being slightly ahead of the younger siblings and whatnot, they just thought, no, but I mean, how can you, like, really? Just go and study something that will make sense. But I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and so I could go and study. I did
You're
languages.
using a lot of words that are making me laugh here. I mean, you're talking refers to music. Make a career that will make sense.
Do you know that there was a time that music was looked at differently? Like every time you said, I want to do music, everyone would be like, okay, really?
You're wasting your time.
Why are you wasting your time, And from the eras of the PK Chalas and them, that really lived off music. And then we graduated into the Mondo music era. No one seemed serious about it anymore. And so it sort of died down. So every time you brought it up and you said you wanted to do music, everyone would look at you like there's something wrong with you. And so I had to do something that made sense to everyone.
Okay, now the experience.
Yeah.
What is the plan for it? You haven't launched it yet.
No, I've not launched it yet. Just about done. Well, we are done, except we just need to do the replication and whatnot,
Right.
and
Okay.
and probably end of March it should be on the market,
That's next month.
which is next month. Yes, as long as it's just the first quarter of the year, it should be okay. And then I think the music will start selling before the launch is done.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the music will sell just a little longer, and then the launch will be done. This is just a combination of the experiences that I went through when coming back into Zambia and the challenges and whatnot, and so that was the birth. So writing songs on this album would sort of, what's the word? I have forgotten. I think I'm beginning to forget English.
To go back to school.
I need to go back to school. It will like get fears off me, that fears and trepidation and worries and stuff like that. When you write it, you're like, oh, okay, I feel so much better. I feel so much better. Because I think it was really a very precarious and difficult time.
Okay.
Coming back and to adjust, and you have children who are telling you, no, but now I want this, I want that, now I can't have it. Why?
Right.
And as a parent, you're like, I'll
How many
explain.
kids do you have?
I have two. I have two boys. Yeah.
Two boys. Oh,
Yes.
nice. So
Yes.
far.
So far, yeah. Well, my wife says the factory is closed, so I don't know whether there will be grace.
You should apply for management buyout. And just revive it.
Yeah, we have two kids.
Yeah.
Emmanuel and Muelwa.
Are they listening? Do they know daddy's on the radio? He left them asleep, I'm sure.
One went to sleep out for a weekend, so I don't know if where he is listening. Yeah, ish. Then the other one is in boarding.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay. How old are they?
14 and 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 14 and 10. So I doubt they're listening, but I think my wife is listening. Hi, baby.
You see now.
Yeah.
Shine.
Yeah.
This is your 10 minutes of fame. Take full advantage of it.
Trust me, it's more than all I need. 10 is
So 10 tracks on the Experience album.
yes, there's 10 tracks.
These are not the only songs that you wrote over the last 6 years, are they?
No, I've written quite a lot. Sometimes even for other groups, but for some strange reason, I had been writing a lot of English songs, and then I realized, but why?
Right.
So I'm just getting into that zone where I just want my Tonga, I want my Chewa, I want my Bemba, I want my Lamba, I want to be Zambian this time around, and so
And you can write in all those languages.
I try to. Sometimes if I can't, I would write and ask someone who speaks very, very fluent language of from that particular region to translate, so that I don't miss a thing.
Can you allow me
Yeah.
to take advantage of your presence here?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this saying will apply, but you've heard that one.
Adiamuivala, yes.
Yeah. Since you are here,
Ah.
can I make a request?
Please do.
In
Please
front
do.
of all these witnesses that are listening. Could you
I know where this is going.
Could you do a few songs?
Yeah.
I belong to two groups. I belong to a choir.
Yes. And
And a
a quartet.
quartet.
I know.
How many would be fair to ask for? Two each? Is that something?
I think it's okay. I think that would be fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two for a choir and two for the
Two for
quartet.
choir, two for quartet.
Okay, and the languages, I always ask that.
Languages,
from people.
I mean, hey,
You love,
varied.
you love your English?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so that's fine.
English,
That's fine. Those might actually even
Chewa,
be there.
Lamba. I mean,
Okay.
Lamba is not that.
That's the
We
thing.
have a lot of Bemba, a lot of Chewa,
Yes.
or Nyanja as we
yes.
call it.
And now I think
Lamba.
we're beginning to have quite a lot of Tonga as well.
Yes,
Songs.
Tonga. Yes, Tonga actually. Tonga,
Yeah.
Bemba, Chewa. So, Tonga. Yeah.
Tonga, Bemba, and Chewa.
And Chewa, or
Yes,
Nyanja.
yes.
Lozi.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Do you do Lozi, or you could give for
I
someone
think,
to
I
translate?
think I could, no, because of the Tswana
there you
background.
go.
Yeah, because I lived in Botswana for quite a bit, and then in South Africa also there's also Tswana
Right.
and Sotho,
Right.
and Paddy also sounds a bit like them. So I think I
like
can.
my name was Paddy.
So Paddy is I think it's a combination of Sotho, Tswana, and a bit of Venda.
And you speak all those languages.
I understand quite a lot of them, and so I can. I can get it.
So 2 songs.
Yeah, I can do 2 songs for each of
Yeah.
the groups. Yeah.
Then there's a Bevla.
Time frame.
Then there's a Bevla as a what can I call it? You know, Kambasela.
Yes.
You can do one
Okay.
from one of those
Okay.
languages outside.
Okay.
It's
Great.
Paddy. It's Paddy.
Sipedi.
Oh, it's
Paddy,
Paddy. But
yeah.
that's how they'll pronounce my name anyway. So
Really?
probably. Yeah. When I like those from the south, they don't say
Oh,
Paddy,
they don't say Paddy. They say Paddy.
Right.
And then they add
So,
the Sipedi.
You see now.
It's like the way we say Ichivemba, Ichinyanja. They say Sipedi,
Right.
Sitswana.
You see now. So I'm humbled.
I'll be
to have-
calling you
to have
Sipedi.
influenced the birth of the tribe.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, we can do that.
So 1.
Yes.
From
So that means 5. That gives
5.
me 5.
Yeah.
Time frame.
You tell me.
Well, this is the end of the month, almost, and so by mid March it will be done.
Great, fantastic, and we have witnesses.
We do.
So end of the month, the experience will be out.
End of the month experience will be out.
Do you know how it will be distributed? Where it will be found?
We are actually in the middle of. I'm putting together a stable called Framo Music, and so we're making distribution channels for every province so that we just not only for this, not only for the experience, but several other artists. I think we don't have a very good
That's true,
and
and
well
that's a complaint
represented.
we get many.
Yeah,
many
yeah,
times,
and so we really are trying from the time I came back to just make those proper distribution and marketing channels so
Right.
that we can do the right thing for the artists. And so, yeah, we are putting all that in place, and I think by the time this is out, we should have all those.
Wait, another question that I remember a question that you know I like I said, I belong to choir and I have been involved in a lot of choirs.
Yes.
There's how important is it for a group to adhere, to observe and respect
Yeah.
the discipline, the rules, the rudiments
Yeah, yeah.
of music, because you know you get a lot of these days. You get a lot of groups that we hear a song on CD or
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah,
We're going to do this song,
we're going to do this.
and you know they try to replicate
Yeah.
the notes, the chords, and everything.
Yeah.
But I find that quite often they miss a number of things,
Yeah.
and because perhaps they don't understand the chord,
Exactly.
they're not seeing it on paper as in
Yeah.
the mi, the fas,
The fuzz
la,
and the
dos
rays.
and things.
Yeah.
And then they begin to compromise.
It strays away from the actual,
Yeah.
from the way it was intended. You know what? Like, rudimentally speaking, like you've rightly put it, I think that it's always important to get to understand and establish what it is that you want to stand for as a group or even as a solo artist or whatever. It's one of those things that we have problems with.
Yeah.
World over, not just here in Zambia or in Africa. We want to do that which sounds popular at the time,
Right,
and so
right.
we lose it. And so because I'm going to even go out for a bit. Because Kirk Franklin is doing this, and it seems to be resonating with people. I'm going to get Kirk Franklin's song and sing with a group in Zambia.
Okay.
It will not work.
Yeah.
It will not work because then you don't know the fundamentals, you don't know the rudiments, you don't know the rules surrounding whatever it is that he
Right.
was doing when he was arranging, and even the area
Exactly.
You know, and so all those are supposed to be put into consideration when you are putting together a song. You'll be very shocked that some of the music that would work very well is very elementary. It's very
True. True.
And it makes sense because it is coming from the right frame of mind
Right
and the
place.
right place. So people, we should realize, let me include myself, we should realize that you don't need to complicate things all the time.
No.
Just know your surrounding, know what you can do. I think try and establish what is it that you can do. Not all of us are very eclectic and can run around and do literally everything. Some can do certain things that will work for them very perfectly, you know. And so I think stick to getting to identify
Right.
who you are.
I'm glad you say that. I will pick some of the words you
Yeah.
used.
Yeah.
Eclectic and everything else.
Exactly.
And use them when I'm advising council, advising choirs that I come
Oh
across.
man.
But Francis, I'm so grateful you came today.
I'm glad I did, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate, man. These are some of the things that we want to take for granted, but I mean, look, if you don't bring me out here, who's going to speak? Who's going to hear me? You know, so you play a vital role in trying to get people to know the music and know us and get to appreciate whatever it is that the little bit that we're trying to do. And so I'm grateful.
You're most welcome. And of course, we're looking forward to the end of next month.
Yes.
By then,
Yes.
the experience will be
Definitely
out
will
of
be
the
out
streets.
there.
If anyone wants to get in touch with you, how do they? To get
We are
information of
on
the album
all
or other things that you do.
we are on all, well, not all, but the most popular social platforms. We're on Facebook. There's Francis Molobeka on Facebook. There's
I'll
also
just spell
Framo,
that. Pretend to take
Francis Molobeka, M-O, not Mulobeka. A lot of people say Mulobeka.
That's a mistake when people know.
Molobeka, Molobeka. And then we also have Framo Music. So on Facebook, then we are on Twitter, and then we're on YouTube. Like this is going to be on YouTube for those that may not have listened to
I'm going to
it.
be on YouTube.
You are going to be on my YouTube channel, yes.
I think you should have gotten my permission first.
You're my friend. You'll be my friend forever, so now I don't need that.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah, so so check out and see how we always, you know, update people to say this is what is happening.
Yeah.
And so why it will take even up to the end of the month is because we want to replicate this particular music, this duplication that we do in Zambia. We don't replicate music in Zambia, you know, like press.
Mm.
And so we want to replicate, and that can only happen in South Africa.
What do you mean? What's the difference?
Duplication is where you put music into this machine and it just writes on it. Burning of CDs basically is duplication, and then you have a lot of them.
Okay.
But press is where replication is where you press the music onto a CD, and you can even see the difference. It has that shiny. When you turn it, it has that shiny.
Call it glass.
Yeah, it's called glass. Like people with the English.
Layman. Glass. Okay.
Yeah, so we want to have that replicated because it doesn't get destroyed quite often. It doesn't scratch a lot.
Easily.
Yeah, it doesn't scratch it easily, and so we want to do that so that people can appreciate the music and enjoy it a bit more. Yeah, and so
Is the quality different?
it's way better. Clarity is way better. The timbre of the music is way better because it's like remastered. And so when you have a replicated CD, it's like you have a master CD of the music. Yeah.
Wow.
So the quality is definitely better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And the music, there will be lyrics, there'll be words in the inlay card, and it's just a whole package so that people can enjoy. And I wish that all of us can begin to do that, and then we can grow the industry together.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Sure.
Well, thank you very much, Francis. It's been very educative for me. I must say, I've learned.
It's always good to be with you. We are always laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's my friend, by the way, and so we talk about a lot of things.
I'm sure there are lots more years ahead of
exactly
fellowship.
That's if I don't die.
I mean, we all will one day, but we probably won't be soon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not before August.
Yeah,
or
no,
September.
you know what I mean. Thank you, Paddy, for having me. I really appreciate, man. You're crazy.
Francis is good at that. It's been good having you here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so
I'll
much.
be looking forward to the updates.
Exactly. No, definitely
social
updating
media.
you. Yeah.
Now the album is out and people can go and start getting it.
Exactly, and I'm sure you'll be one of the first to have one.
Absolutely, because you
Yeah.
bring it to me, won't you?
I know,
Like
right?
you see now. So thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
so very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
Enjoy the
much.
rest of your day.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, so that was Mr. Francis Molobeka talking to us about his brand new album, The Experience, which is still in the album somewhat, but will be out in a couple of weeks, and we're all looking forward to that. 8:22 is the time when Phoenix FM is still on the Gospel Show.